Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Georgie Jacobs tōku ingoa no Aotearoa ahau, nau mai, haere mai. My name is Georgie, for those that don't know me. I'm from New Zealand, and this is my channel on different types of healers. But today, just like last week, I did a little segment on numerology versus tarot. I'm going to carry on from that. So just doing a quick review on what we did last week. But before that, I've got a special shout out to Joni011. Thank you so much for your wonderful comments. I know it's hard for some people to leave a comment without feeling, oh, there's a lot more I want to say. Well, you can, but just be mindful in your comments. That's all I'm saying. This is my perception of numerology versus tarot. So there's my disclaimer. Okay, so last week we did 0 and 1, 0 being void or source, and me talking about, when you were a baby, you had that connection. You had the connection directly to source, right? Until we got older and society started changing the way we view things, how we look at things, and so we lost that ability, to see and know. So this is just my way. As I started getting older, I started looking more into it. Things that were mysterious I found intriguing. So last week, like I said, we talked about void, 0, and the fool. The fool setting off on his exciting journey and who he's going to meet along the way, and that's what the major arcana is about. It's about the journey, and it actually, talks about you going on your journey. So the number 1 is he met the magician, eh? And in numerology, it talked about new beginning, new pathway, new journey, new venture, all that, and it's the same in the major arcana, where you have a new project, depending what it is, where it is in your life, or what area of your life, a new project, a new venture, whatever it is. It's the fool's journey, and the fool, it's just it talks about you on your own journey, really. Not calling you a fool or anything, but they tend to take a bit more risks when they're dabbling in something new. So I wanted to throw in the universal years because they're very similar to numerology. And so it talks about the birth of a new idea, a fresh start, a new phase beginning in your life. It talks about planting seeds for the future. And we do that, when we mind map, when we've got an idea and we throw everything down onto paper. And you start looking at what's feasible, what can work right now, and what will have to wait a little bit longer. That's all it is. It's putting yourself out there and embarking on an exciting project. So that's the universal 1. Now we're going to head into number 2, and we're going to do number 3. So if we look at numerology for number 2, it's about duality. It's about polarity, our opposite sides, unity, relationships, balance, harmony, partnerships. That makes sense. Partnerships. Hey, you're either going to meet someone who wants to work alongside of you, and in numerology they tell you to look out for that person. You try and have the balance with your harmony, so you don't get too in your mind, end up suffering from anxiety or overthinking things. So it tells you to keep that balance and harmony. It talks about there's 2 sides to everything. So like I said before, the good, the bad. the pros, the cons, you know, whenever you're putting something together, you always look at the pros and you always look at the cons, whether it's buying a car, a home, or starting a new business. It talks about spiritual growth and guidance. So this is all to do with numerology for number 2. And it reminds us to nurture ourselves as well as others. So put you first. Start looking after your health. Start looking after the things that you want in your world, and then you can help others do the same. So that's number 2. Number 2 in universal years is about relationships, partnerships, diplomacy, building new relationships in love and business. Yeah, finding fostering connections. You know, bringing things together. You start looking for things that are people, places, or things that are very similar to your own interests. Nurturing your emotional well-being, cooperation and patience. Something I don't really have a lot of, but I'm learning as I'm going along. And to balance all areas in your life. So that's the universal year for number 2. And in the tarot, number 2 is the High Priestess. Now remember, the journey itself, he met the magician who was a number 1, right? And he told him that he has everything that he needs within himself um, to manifest whatever it is that he wants. Why? Because he's working alongside with Source, which is the 0. So now we come to a number 2, and this is the second person he meets on his journey, which is the High Priestess. She's all about wisdom, intuition, decisions, authority, dreams. You know, she's the female sage of the Hierophant, who's in the major arcana as well, or the Pope, whatever you want to call her. She symbolizes clarity, duality, and a link between your conscious and unconscious minds. I like that. She also represents, she's always learning, right? So she has so much knowledge, so much intuition, and she helps you make major decisions that you need to do. Listen to your intuition and seek inspiration from others that have actually accomplished that trait that you're actually looking for, or that idea, or help in any way. Seek people who have actually done it. She can actually see what is hidden. So the dark and the light. So the light can go into the dark, but the dark can't go into the light. So she can go between both the subconscious and the unconscious worlds. And she can also see when things aren't right. You know, you have these gut feelings, you have discernment, whatever you want to call it. That's the High Priestess. And then for a number, so she is ruled by the moon, and the elements for that is water. So we got Cancer, who is also ruled by the moon. We have Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, and we have Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. They tell you need to listen to your intuition to meditate. Now, meditate could be anything. You could be sitting out in the by water and just going within yourself and just letting everything go across the water. Tells you to reflect and turn inward as the answers are within you. And you're heading towards a period of growth, which makes sense because number 3 is coming up. So We'll just take a little pause for a moment just so you can soak that all in before I go on to number 3. Um, all right, so number 2, and I think I've done it, and the universal years. I'll just reiterate: relationships, partnerships, and diplomacy, building new relationships in love and business. Now we'll move on to a number 3 in numerology, and it talks about expansion and growth. You know, the pathway is clear towards your goal, because now that you're starting to put things in place, you'll be able to see, using your intuition, what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there. That's what number 2 is all about. So number 3 in numerology is about finding like-minded people, and that's what we were talking about before. Creativity, self-expression, social activities, explore new hobbies, and enjoy company of friends and family. So that's numerology. And the major arcana, and number 3 is the Empress. So her co-partner is, of course, the Emperor. But we're going to talk about her today and probably talk about him next week. That doesn't sound good. But anyway, the Empress talks about fertility, harmony, love, abundance, productivity, development, accomplishment, growth, evolution, and acting on whatever it is that you want. She has everything she needs. You know, she's just full of abundance. She loves her life. She is depicted as being pregnant here, so like birthing new ideas, you know, that sort of thing for the Empress. She also is about material and domestic comfort, security and protection, positive associations, and of motherhood, like nurturing, that sort of thing. Whatever it is that you want to do, you nurture that project. Yeah. It also indicates abundance on both material and emotional levels. She's more about conventional relationships, but you know, this is the one that you meet along the way to give you uh, that more insight onto, you know, material stuff that you need in your world, and how you're going to go about doing things. Because the magician's already told you can have whatever you want. The High Priestess is also giving you, you know, clarity on your pathway. And then you meet the High Priestess, who has everything that she deserves and desires. You know, she doesn't care about other things, you know. She's in charge of her own destiny, and she makes sure that she is. She says who comes into her world, not the other way around. You know, she's an amazing woman. And I love talking about the High Priestess and the Empress. Now, the Empress is the 4 queens in the minor arcana, or in a normal deck of cards. So the 4 queens will then become the Empress. Yeah. She's ruled by Venus, which is Taurus. So, of course, the element with this one is Earth. So Taurus, ruled by Venus, Virgo, ruled by Mercury, and then you have Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. Talks about experiences, you know, things that happening in your life, a new life, giving birth to new projects, self-care, invest time in yourself. And it talked about that in numerology too. You know, with the number 2, you've got to nurture ourselves as well as others. So it kind of, blends in with each other. And I really love the way that that happens. So if we look at number 3 and the universal years, it's about finding like-minded people. Now your group is starting to grow, right? Because they can see you as the apprentice and your skills are getting better at whatever it is that you are partaking of. So finding like-minded people, creativity, self-expression and social activities. You start exploring new hobbies. Your inner artist starts to shine because whatever it is that you are setting out on, it's starting to come to life. Enjoy company of friends and family. And think of this as a year of a long festival where joy and laughter take center stage. Because it gets more interesting and more exciting, as you're going along on your journey yourself. So now that the fool has now met the magician, who's told him that he's got everything he needs and he can manifest because he has source working alongside of him. Then we have the high priestess who's told him, about clarity. He has that clarity, he has that intuition. Start following his intuition when it comes to any decision making. And then number 3, you come across the high priestess. The empress, sorry. You come across the empress, who then lets you know that, the birthing of new ideas, you know, meeting people, looking at ways to do the things that you want to do, new projects, self-care, invest in time in yourself, you know. You can accomplish anything that you want. She's full of life and excitement. She's full of abundance. She can have whatever she wants, so can you. And that's what it's trying to tell you with the Empress. So now we're going to look at the minor arcana. And the first one we're going to look at is the Two of Wands. So as we know, the wands are all about passion. It's about, it's the element of fire. So the fire, Aries, is ruled by Mars. Leo ruled by the Sun. And then you've got Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. And it's all about planning, progress, decision making, discovery, leaving home, travel plans, happiness, goal setting, foresight and reconciliation. There's a spark of inspiration, how you turn things into action. Do the groundwork before moving forward and let your intuition guide you. So as you can see there, you see the little buds coming out on his wands. Those are his ideas and his, him working out what to do next, where to go, who to talk to, all that sort of thing. And then we come across the Three of Wands. It's all about preparation. And because the bud's grown even more on his wands. Right? Yep. Preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, activities, expansion, oversee opportunities, and moving forward. This is about your plans are in motion now. You've gone from the thinking process to actually making it, putting it into action. More opportunities are coming your way. Opportunity to expand your business and horizon through travel. Reach beyond your comfort zone. Doors will open. if you stop limiting yourself. So that's the Three of Wands. Really, really exciting because now it's starting to happen for you. You know, depending which card is pulled, depending what is going on in your life or part of the area of your life that you want to look at. But that's what the Three of Wands is. It's all about movers and shakers. It's about actioning what you've put into play, I suppose. So that's your Wands. Next, we're going to look at the Cups. So the Two of Cups is about emotions, right? So there we have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And the elements for Cancer is Moon. For Scorpio, it's Pluto. And for Pisces, it's Jupiter. You can see them with the cups in their hand, and it's universal love, partnership, mutual attraction, okay? Proposal, marriage, and connections. So it's about building strong partnerships and connections built on mutual respect and equality, receiving positive energy, and to share it with others. So, like I said, I'm only giving you a quick 5. There's probably more that you know about these cards, but you can see that they are exchanging, you know, that, or they have that equality thing going on, that love between each other, that mutual attraction. So that's the Two of Cups, and then we move along to the Three of Cups. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these all under half an hour, so I better scoot along. The Three of Cups talks about celebrations first and foremost, achieving the goals that you want and acknowledging yourself for them, even if it's a minor one. Do it. You know, go out and buy you something, or shout yourself a lunch or something. Friendships, collaborations, creativity, community, and happiness. Entering happy times, reconnecting with love, friends, relatives, and celebrating the final part of a project, you know. Spend time with those that you love. And that's the Three of Cups, which is ruled by, of course, water. Why don't I not think of that? Jeez, my brain is just all over the place right now. So, same thing, Cancer, Capricorn, and Pisces. Then we move along to the Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is ruled by Taurus, which is Venus, Virgo, the planet is Mercury, and Capricorn, which is Saturn. So the Two of Pentacles is about multiple priorities, management, juggling things, adaptability, negotiations, balancing decisions and options. Managing projects and time well. We'll be sure to take the time to breathe and keep a tidy schedule to avoid losing balance. So, you know, it's all that when it comes to home, work, love, keeping that balance between, you know, those areas. So that's the Two. And then we come across the Three of Pentacle. And same thing, it's about teamwork, collaborations, learning, implementation, building something, skills, security, goals, long-term rewards. You see these people admiring his skillful work? Well, like I said, it's like being the apprentice, and now you can showcase what you've been learning. Everything is coming together. Success with a team, share your talents, keep collaborating to achieve your goals. So, you know, it starts getting bigger and better, and more people start jumping on board. Why? Because you had this brilliant idea. One thing, don't let them take your ideas, right? keep that ace under your sleeve, but just share enough to bring up their curiosity that they want to invest in your project. And then the last suit is the swords. So we've got the Two of Swords here, and it's about making difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, stalemate, stagnation, and choice. This is ruled by air, so Gemini, their planet is Mercury. Then you have Libra, which is Venus, and then last you have Aquarius, which is Uranus. It's about balance in relationships, hard choices to make, caught up. Sometimes you get caught up in arguments, which ain't even yours sometimes. But it's all about balance in relationships, balancing, things in your world. What do I do? Who do I talk to? All that sort of thing. And then the last one you come across is the Three of Swords. And we all know this to be like emotional pain, betrayal, divorce, depression, disloyalty, upset, delays, confusion, and heartbreak. Because just when you trust somebody mentally, they can bring anxiety to you. So it tells you to dust off and just keep going forward. Because change is inevitable, right? Because change is inevitable, it's better just to leave them where they are, and just move on your journey. Keep going. That's what it's saying for the swords. It's all mental, right? And that's why we have the air sign ruling the swords. Your thoughts. Thoughts become things. Remember I said that last week. Okay, so it's the 4 suits as well. Well, that was pretty hard for me. I think it took me a few goes to actually do this video, and I'm really pleased that I finally got through it. I didn't want to lose any information that I had put together for this segment, but I hope you like it, and I hope you leave a comment below. On that, next week we're going to look at 2 more numbers. So, we're getting through the major arcana as well as the minor, looking at numerology, and now I'm throwing in universal years, just to show the that it all coincides together. It's all about numbers. On that, I'll see you next week. Ka kite.